and welcome to Season 1, Episode number 29 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches of 2020 with match number 22 on our list, which was the finals of the All Japan Champion Carnival for 2020 between Kento Miyahara and Zeus from the Night 6 event of the Champion Carnival held back on October the 5th. Now, the Zeus in this match, if you are unfamiliar with him, he is not Tiny Lister, from the No Holds Barred movie, rest in peace, Tiny Lister. He is a jacked up Japanese athlete. He uses a jackhammer as a finish. He uses a chin lock as one of his primary moves that he somehow, just with his strength, is able to make absolutely menacing. He is a powerhouse, but he is athletic, he's agile, he's captivating, and he's great. So I'm a big Zeus guy. But this match was great. So if you're unfamiliar with Kento Miyahara, I don't want to call him like the Okada of All Japan, but he is, he's been their centerpiece for a number of years now. He's very good. He wrestles, I'll say his style of match, right? Much like Okada, he's got his formula that, when he wrestles other wrestlers, they tend to fall into that formula and his competitors kind of work his game plan. This match was different than that, which is why I really enjoyed it. I knew I was going to enjoy it going in because, these guys have had great matches in the past, have great chemistry. But again, I really just appreciated how different this was for a Miyahara match. He often starts, with kind of like early feeling out. So they started to do that. And then very early on, Zeus hit like a shoulder block and went for a cover off of it. And then immediately went for a submission, right? So it showed the sense of urgency that Zeus wasn't clowning around and he wanted to win this match. The winner of the Champion Carnival gets a shot at the Triple Crown. So it's important. He wanted that shot. From there, Miyahara takes the match to the floor, which again is normally one of the things that he does. He takes advantage on the floor. He does a lot of that work early in his match. So they went out to do that. Every time Zeus would start to get the advantage, Miyahara would go to the floor. But then Zeus ended up cutting him off with just a monster overhead belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. So again, Miyahara's game plan not working. From there, Zeus tried a bunch of different submissions and Miyahara would find his way out. They ended up getting onto the apron and Miyahara hit, a flash DDT on the apron and he took back over. But then again, he made the mistake of going for Old Faithful. One of his signatures is a pile driver on the ring apron. He attempted that. Zeus is way too big to hit that move on. Zeus countered it into an air raid crash on the ring apron, which looked brutal. They, back in the ring, after some work, they went into a big time strike exchange. And Miyahara, was trying to, no sell and fight his way through that strike exchange, but it couldn't compare to Zeus. Zeus did no sell every strike and then took Miyahara down and just pummeled him into the mat, right? To quote Charlie Day, he pummeled him into a jelly, which again was splendid. In the kind of, as we got into the final stretch of the match, Miyahara, he uses knees very effectively, very Kenny Omega in that regard, right? With the V triggers. He'll use these knees, and it's how he generally takes over and leads into his finishing run. So every advantage he was getting was based off of him somehow countering, getting knees up on a frog splash or, whatever the case may be, and hitting a couple of knees. But Zeus would still make that comeback. Kento eventually, got enough of advantage that he was able to hit his shutdown German suplex hold. It only got him a 2, and again, he made the mistake of going for the move again, which is another Miyahara, trope, where that's his finish. That's his bread and butter. That's how he finishes his matches. So he went for it again. He held Zeus way too long, just in the straitjacket. Which again is something that he'll generally do, almost a little bit for show, I find. Zeus was able just to use his strength, power out, absorb, the knees that Kento threw at him. He took a big one and then rebounded off the ropes into a big lariat, and he just stopped Miyahara dead in his tracks. He had a couple of lariats, jackhammered him, pinned him for the 3, clean as a sheet. The All Japan ace fell in the final of the Champion Carnival to the more powerful Zeus. And again, it was a match that was satisfying gave me a winner that I truthfully wasn't really expecting, but it was the winner that I wanted. And again, it was just a very, nice, different match than what I expected. I think Miyahara is great, but sometimes I do find his matches to be a little tedious. Not this one. It went a half hour. It felt like it went 15. I've seen Miyahara matches that have won a half hour that felt like they went 45. So again, you can watch this on All Japan's streaming service. I ask that you please subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50. And please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.